one would have to look at the quantity and the use.
So we're talking about in one lot of mining this morning's evidence, 3 million tonnes. What's the density of salt? What would a stack of salt 3 million tonnes? What size would the volumetric size of that stack be?
I don't think I can answer that. No, we would need to go and calculate that.
So one of the issues for us, and I mean, we noticed that into the top end of the Conda mine, so everyone downstream has to, by agreement, you know, government officials have ticked it off. They're allowed to tip in 76 tonnes over an 18-month period of bromide. What status do you give bromide?
Sorry, what?
Bromide.
Yes.
What status does bromide have in your NICNAS?
As we understand, I think bromide would be listed on the inventory. Yes, so bromide is listed on the inventory, so it can be used legally in Australia. But is there a safe level? I mean, is it all right to put 76 tonnes down a waterway? So bromide is not one that NICNAS has looked at, and I don't believe we've looked at it over the time of the agency. So these are matters that are being taken at the state level. So you haven't looked at monochloramine? No. So as we
32 tonnes of that.
The chemicals that we've looked at that we understand are used in this process are really confined to 4.
In fracking or what?
Well, in fracking, yes. So we've looked at 4 of the fracking chemicals, but in other contexts.
Well, can I just bring you up to date? I mean, maybe you're off the post. In the US, their report identified 750 chemicals that were used in fracking. You don't know about them?
We've been
and that's now in Texas, Dame Texans, they've made it compulsory that they report their chemicals. But you say there's only 4 chemicals used and the US says 750?
No, I didn't say 4. I said NICNAS has assessed 4 of the chemicals that we understand is used in fracking. We've been gathering information about which chemicals...
So which are they, the 4?
There are ammonium persulfate, sodium persulfate, limonene and butoxyethanol. We understand from the information we've collected that there's somewhere between 50 and 60 chemicals used in fracking in Australia. We can't say that's the definitive list, but of the information we've been able to gather so far.
So do you have a different assessment when you combine chemicals which will give you a different chemical outcome? Do you also assess what happens if you put this with that? They could be safe on their own, put something else with it.
Yeah, there are not good methodologies for assessing interaction of chemicals. There are some methodologies that are being developed through the World Health Organization for cumulative effects, but the ability to assess the interactions...
in other words, you don't do it?
...is limited. If they have a similar mode of action, then you're able to take the interactions into account, but it's more of a cumulative assessment. The cumulative assessments we do look at, the interactions we're not able to at this stage.
So in the assessing of chemicals, how much do you rely on your own work and how much do you rely on someone else's work, and what portion of someone else's work is the work of the person who owns the chemical?
In the case of existing chemicals, we're usually looking at, or at least the ones that we've done to date, we're usually looking at what are called data-rich chemicals. So there's quite a lot of information that might have been generated through independent academic institutions, as well as obviously information that's going to have been generated by a company. So if we have declared a chemical as a priority existing chemical, we have the powers to require industry to provide any of the information that they may hold. Often there will be, well, in a significant number of cases anyway, there will be an international assessment will have been conducted primarily through the OECD or through the World Health Organization. If those reports are available, then we will take them into account.
In other words, it's just a bureaucratic quagmire.
No, I wouldn't describe it in that way. There is actually a lot of assessment work that's being done by ourselves as well as our counterpart agencies around the world.
Do you think you ought to assess cyanide going down the Condamine River?
Well, as I said earlier, at the moment, these responsibilities are sitting with the states as they make decisions about the licences.
So how long have you been in existence?
20 years.
So, you know, Dieldrin, what do you do about Dieldrin? Does it come onto the list as prior or prior to 89?
Dieldrin, I think, would be handled by the APVMA.
It would. Well, I can't figure out what you do just yet, but it's early. It's early. Senator Edwards.
Well, that was going to be part of my question, but I'll perhaps get a little more direct. Origin Energy, Australian Pacific LNG, on page 45 of their evidence submitted, state that a number of chemicals used in the fracking process, which are not assessed or approved by